back to episode 33 of the Tundra Cast. And today I'm joined by Shay
What's up?
and Dank.
Hola, Rossi, hola, Shay.
And today we're going to be talking about the Stanley Cup Conference Finals and about other news around the league. And today we're going to be starting off with the Seattle Kraken coach hiring of Dave Hakstol.
It was kind of weird because I didn't hear Hakstol's name at all before he was hired. I thought they would probably go for Rick Tocchet or a guy like Bruce Boudreau. And I mean, his record in Philly is just not good, man. In his first season, they won 41, 27, and 14. Fifth in the Metro, they lost in the first round to the Caps. 16-17, they missed. 17-18, 42, 60, 26, and 14. Lost in six to the Pittsburgh Penguins. In his third year, he went 12, 15, and 4. And what I've heard from Philly fans is that his system is just garbage. He makes the worst lineup changes. Like I think a couple years ago, I think he scratched Provorov and Lindblom in exchange for Yuri Laterra and Andrew McDonald or something like that. I don't know why, but that's the stuff I heard he does. He just makes the stupidest coaching decisions. His system's just not good enough. He's not really a player's coach. I just don't like this hiring for Seattle. And maybe he's changed his ways from Philly. I don't know. He was pretty good as the Leafs PK coach, but I don't know, man. This seems just like it's a terrible hiring, and any hope of Seattle being as good as Vegas is out the window.
I I I actually tend to disagree. The first moment I felt like Seattle's imitation of Vegas was out the window when they hired Jason Botterill from Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
That was just a worst thing you can do as as an organization, in my opinion. But I digress. I'll let Rossi take his opinion first.
I mean, you had Seattle had like the biggest names I guess would be Tocchet, uh, Tortorella, and Boudreau, and I guess and Gallant, but he went to the Rangers, and I really thought that the smartest choice would be to take either Tocchet or Tortorella. I would have gone with Tocchet because he's a very defensive-minded coach, and they're going to get very defensive players in the expansion draft. But they went completely off the board and just put Hakstol in, and I just do not agree with the signing whatsoever.
I don't think he's gonna last 2 seasons,
I
honestly.
I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking that maybe they're not thinking that to imitate Vegas, deep down their heads, if stuff goes haywire, and they're just maybe banking on the fact that he's over or close to 2 decades experience in youth
But here's the
like
thing.
youth hockey and college hockey, but that doesn't translate sometimes.
Here's the thing. Seattle's owner is, I think, around in his 60s. Vegas's owner is in his mid 70s. I think Bill Foley, who's the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, wanted Vegas to win a cup right away because he's spending a lot of money on it.
No.
No, it's true. This has been reported.
Not really, but at the same time,
it's been reported.
At the same time, at first they did get a few draft picks, but deep down in my head, I felt like as soon as they got Smith and Marshall, I felt like a lot of people were doubting at first that Vegas was trying to be pretenders.
But Aaron Drager just said today, Bill Foley is an impatient dude. He's in his mid 70s. He wants to win a cup bad. My point is, I don't think with Seattle's owner they're going to be more patient. That's my point.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to be more aggressive than Vegas was.
I don't think so.
Vegas was at the right spot at the right time when everyone was inexperienced when it came to expansions, and they banked on that. Seattle, the thing with Seattle is that most GMs are still there, and they're gonna know unless they're very gullible. they're gonna know like the ins and outs because they've been through this before.
I mean,
It,
no,
it just
they're
it
still
just
going to have to make the trades because there's a lot of players that they're going to lose that they're going to want to keep.
Yeah,
So no,
exactly.
they're still going to make the same trades that they made with Vegas.
yeah.
But it's gonna be
It's
less.
inevitable because just how many vital players Seattle can take from each team. Because whether you want to believe it or not, expansion drafts, the last two expansion drafts have been extremely new team friendly, and yeah, so Seattle's just getting. Seattle's going to be able to take what they want, and it's going to be up to the GMs to make trades to keep what they
They're
can from
players.
Seattle.
They're key players.
Yeah.
So no, NHL GMs will still make the same mistakes because that's what they have to do to keep some of their good players around. I just don't think there's going to be, a real Riley Smith 2.0 because when Riley Smith was available, you had a bad contract. So, um, Seattle's still going to be decent. I don't think they're going to be at Vegas good. I mean, they won't have a Marc-Andre Fleury type guy available at least this year. So, I think they're going to be more patient this time around. With Vegas, I think they really rushed it since they made it to the playoffs in their first year. But no, I think Seattle's going to be a lot more patient this time around. And I guess we can just go on to the Cup final preview now. So unless you've been living under a rock, the Cup finals are going to be Tampa Bay against the Canadiens and Montreal. It's going to be a fun matchup. I cannot wait for this. Obviously, me being Canadian, I got to cheer for the Habs. And I'm guessing most people are cheering for the Habs because most people do not want to see Tampa Cup again. And it'd be awesome to see Carey Price lift the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, my opinion, I don't want to see another team repeat. And not only that, I just don't like Tampa at all. So I'm definitely gonna go for Montreal.
I'm a bit pessimistic as a Habs fan. I just am.
I mean,
I I've seen this before. We get hope, and then all of a sudden it just gets squandered. All right,
I
and
mean,
we're
hope
going.
you're in the Cup finals.
Listen, 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 listen. I I'm looking at this and feel like this is too good as a Habs fan. This is way too freaking good because like I felt like we were gonna be like out of the first round, and then Toronto just did a Toronto, and then Winnipeg just did a Winnipeg. Like
Actually, well, no, I mean, not really. They didn't have a top four defenseman in their first line center.
Winnipeg just like screwed up, like coaching wise, and like injury wise, and just just overall like discipline wise, they
All
screwed
right,
up.
then what argument did you make against Vegas? Montreal shut down
Vegas,
Vegas' top line.
Vegas,
Vegas didn't play bad.
Vegas had Vegas, but here's the thing: you said last podcast about how Pierre DeBoer is should be taken seriously. Sometimes he makes the worst mistakes and the bad decisions.
Well, yeah.
Like that's and they Montreal took that to their advantage for a bit with Marc-Andre Fleury. And they just took advantage of how the defense because generates most of the offense and Pietrangelo, Martinez, Theodore, they're the main offense if you think about it. Heck, they're they're the mostly what generated the offense against Montreal or the goals. It's just like and I see Tampa and it's just like they have a much deeper team. If they shut a much deeper team than like any other opponents combined, even analytically, and it's just unless they get injured, and Vasi's like 2014 price on steroids.
Here's my thing about Tampa, though. Right now, Kucherov is injured.
Kucherov's playing. He's still playing.
He's still playing, but here's the
He's
thing.
injured.
Tampa Bay has struggled against defensive-minded teams in the past. 2018, they couldn't beat Barry Trotz. They couldn't beat Barry Trotz. 2019,
What?
2018, they couldn't beat Barry Trotz.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking you're still on the Islanders.
2019, they lost to Columbus. They got swept. 2020.
Don't laugh.
It was
2020. They had a hard time beating the Islanders in Dallas, two defensive-minded teams. They ended up winning the Cup that year, yes, but they struggled against them. 2020, and you go this year. They could barely beat the Isles in 7 games. The Islanders could have stole that series. So, no, Tampa has a hard time against offensive-minded teams, and that's what Montreal does. Here's the thing, though. Montreal has better offensive weapons than the Isles, and they have a way better netminder. So,
No. Vashey is far superior.
I meant they have a better netminder.
He's still in his prime.
Dank. They have a better netminder than the Islanders. I'm comparing Montreal to the Islanders.
Yes, but is it good enough to stop Vashey?
Well, if the Islanders can take Vashey to 7 games, Montreal can too with better offensive players. I got you right there. So it's going to be a longer. It's going to be a longer series. I know you're pessimistic. I'm just stating the facts. This is going to be a long series.
You think they're going to shut down Point? You think our PK is going to be good enough for that?
Dano shut down Matthews.
Yeah, but Matthews and Morris weren't playing up to the game. They weren't playing up to par.
Stop being pessimistic and look actually at the basic facts. Dano is the best shutdown center so far these playoffs.
He is.
And he's been showing his worth. He shut down Connor McDavid during the regular season. He shut down a lot of these top-notch players.
Well, yes, he shut down Stone, but he hasn't faced off against. We haven't faced off against an elite team like Tampa.
Toronto's an elite team. They just can't play defense.
Yeah, Toronto's an elite team and they can't get out of the first round for what long?
Okay, listen, right now. In the regular season, guess what forward on Nashville shut down Point the most?
Duchesne.
No, it was Sissons.
Oh.
So, yeah, Sissons is amazing defensively, but Danault is on another level. So you can't just be pessimistic. Yeah, everybody's pessimistic when it comes to their team. I'm a main product of that. I am so pessimistic. I had said that Carolina was going to beat us in 4 games, and each score was going to be like 10-0. And so just take a step back, look at the facts, and just realize that you need to keep it professional, because we can't be having a 30-minute podcast where two people are arguing about one thing for the same 5 seconds.
I just think Tampa's going to take it again.
Well, probably, but just be happy and be optimistic about your team here. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. These are the most unpredictable playoffs in sport, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Unless Point magically gets injured, or Vashey just magically gets injured too, I don't see Montreal taking it.
But there's been countless of occurrence where the better team loses in the finals. Be happy and be optimistic. All the Habs guys I'm talking about are optimistic. Don't be pessimistic about your team, Dink.
But you've seen our GM. You've seen the trades he tends to make. I'm just saying, if he's going to get either too excited next year and then start thinking differently, taking a different route.
The trades he made have worked out, though. All the moves he's made have worked out.
Short-term wise, how about long-term wise?
What does long-term have to do with right now? You're in the Cup final.
He fleeced.
Okay. Next series, Tampa Islanders. I'm not going to argue about Bergevin. Next series, because Bergevin
we didn't even cover the entire series. It was just talking about the preview. We never even covered Montreal versus Vegas.
Okay, okay. I don't know what Bergevin has to do with this. By the way, Dank. So, let's talk about Vegas now. They just don't. I don't know what it is with that team. They just, for whatever reason, cannot close out a series.
You want to hear?
I don't know what it is.
I know what it is.
What?
It's the fact that none of their big forwards scored in that series. Their defense collapsed many, many times. The defense looked more like Tampa's defense during that series. They 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 continued to play Fleury even when he was struggling, and then when they put in Leonard, he wins, and Vegas still gets mad at Leonard, and
Even
it
though it's
benches
mostly
It's
Fleury's
DeBoer.
fault.
and
That
then
was
benches
DeBoer.
Fleury again, or it benches Leonard again for Fleury, and then they end up losing again. I I it's 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 the fans, in my opinion, and the fans are a big problem because I personally believe the fans pressured DeBoer into putting back Leonard in, and or not Leonard in, Fleury in, and I think if Leonard plays after that one Fleury mistake where he costed the where he costed Vegas the win, if Leonard plays from then on, I think Vegas moves on.
Probably. I mean, Leonard
Yes.
had an incredible 2 games.
Yeah, and absolutely yes. Because I don't know, DeBoer decided to like put Fleury in game 5, and that absolutely screwed it for Vegas.
Yep.
Because like from then on, if they play game 4, despite the refs' absurd decisions, like Chris Lee, screw that guy. Yes, screw him, but Leonard shut down Montreal. They shut them down. They shut down Caulfield, like except for maybe game 6. But like he shut down their forwards with amazing saves at the right time. And he made up for what he did in Colorado, the game 1. And
That
DeBoer's incompetence to like not put him forward cost them. And that's why I keep telling Shay. He says that like DeBoer's a great coach, but he screws up at the wrong times. And people tend to overhype him a little bit too much. I would still prefer Gallant over him.
I yeah, I think if Vegas plays Leonard and not Fleury, they go on. And I know a lot of people who are gonna watch this are gonna get mad at me for that because everybody's always on the Fleury train, and everybody all year had been doubting me and saying everything negatively about me when I said Leonard is the better goalie of the two, and he will be the better goalie of the two. He's the guy who you want starting in the playoffs. Everybody still went after me, and I was right. So if Leonard plays, they move on.
Yeah. And for Vegas, I think they just need a number 1 center. Like that really showed that series that they need a number 1 center. I get they're missing Chandler Stevenson, but even then, he's not a true number 1 C. And I've been saying this for like a good 2 weeks. If Vegas loses, they should go after Jack Eichel. He'd be a perfect first line center for them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're always strapped to the cap. They're
And
gonna
guess
need
what?
to
You make
they need
room
to
for Jack.
sacrifice a big chunk for him.
Okay, so Eichel makes what, $7 million?
10 million.
No,
He
yeah,
makes
sorry,
10 million.
Okay, yes, he makes $10 million. You trade Fleury, that's $7 million gone, and you got to clear 3 more million left. Like honestly, they could easily get Jack Eichel if they really wanted to. They can really get Jack Eichel for that 1C. If not, there's tons of other guys available. That's my prediction right now. Vegas is going to make a trade for a first line center some way and somehow. It's probably going to involve at least a first round pick, Cody Glass, and someone else.
They still got Nicholas Roy to sign. He was an RFA next season.
He's not going to get anything. He's going to get like what, 1.5 max?
He's I don't know.
Whatever.
They're going to be strapped up to the cap.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, everyone, unless you do cap circumvention, but whatever. But yeah, our point is Vegas chokes again. Their Twitter page is now shut up. Good. Hate their Twitter page. Their fans, besides a few 2% that actually know shit about hockey, mauled. And yeah, go Habs, go. Now we're going to the Isles in Tampa Bay. I thought this series was going to be pretty bad. It was actually pretty fun, pretty entertaining, especially like the last 3 games. First of all, to Isles fans, it's a good team. I mean, it's not, a talented team, but it's a good team. and you're going to be back here next year for sure. Barry Trotz's best coach probably in the world. And you guys did well. You should really be happy about yourselves. You just faced a damn good hockey team. And for Tampa, they're probably going to cup again. But just so you know, no one's going to be cheering for you. Yeah, it was just it was an entertaining series. I think the loss of Anders Lee for the entire playoffs have really hampered the Islanders. And I say if Anders Lee plays this series, the Islanders could have taken the 7-game series just because you had that captain presence and you have another guy that can get you the clutch goals. The goaltending wasn't great. I mean, Sorokin was pretty meh. Vladimir was solid besides Game 5, I believe. Yeah.
I wouldn't blame Sorokin, to be honest. He hasn't faced a Tampa team, a lead of a Tampa team.
That's true.
And he was also just thrown in there at the wrong time, which is kind of bad for like a rookie goaltender. Even if he has experience in Russia, it's bad.
Yeah. And there's a couple of guys for the Islanders that are RFAs. One guy's Adam Pelech. The guy's going to get like $5 million. The Isles are really strapped for cap, man. They're going to be screwed for cap space. And that probably means you have to let another guy go, like they did with Devon Taves last year. I mean, no, if the Islanders had Devon Taves, maybe they do win the series. Like, there's so many variables about the Islanders that can go either way. Another thing I want to talk about is the fans. Holy crap, they were wild. It made the Islander home games feel insane. That was a great atmosphere. Poor Frankie Borelli, by the way, but yeah, it was just a great series. I was surprised Kucherov played Game 7. I thought they would have just rested him, especially how good Tampa was.
I don't think they were with that, to be honest. I don't think he's a key performer on the power play. That. Especially in the Game 7. You wouldn't have risked that.
I mean, you even saw in Game 6 during the power play, they needed him badly. Like, that power play looked so bad without him.
Like, you can't just say, like, oh, yes, let's rest like Kucherov on the Game 7. You need him.
Right. Rossi, any thoughts?
To be honest, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say besides you guys. The Islanders played their heart out, but man, this Tampa team is a machine.
Yeah. And we know that's going to be probably just as good as next year because we all know that Tampa's going to be $39 million over the cap, and somehow they're going to cap bench that. But yeah, it's going to be a good finals though. Let's get on to a bit of the preview part. Game 1 starts Monday in Tampa Bay. Like I said in the Habs Knights review, I think the Habs can push this to a 6-7 game series. I think it's a 6-7 game series. In the end, though, I do have Tampa winning in 7, but I won't count out the Habs because they are a good team, especially with the defensive system they employ. Carey Price, some of their offensive weapons like Caulfield, Suzuki, Kokoniemi, Gallagher, Toffoli, even more in the bottom of 6 like Lehkonen. You got Shea Weber, Petrik. It's a good team. And Canada's going to be – the league's going to be cheering hard for the Habs, and hopefully they can break the Canadian curse because it's been a long 28 it's been a long 28 years without a cup here. So hopefully the Habs who started the curse can end the curse.
The Leafs, anyone who beats in the the Leafs Habs series, the one team that won that series has moved on to win the cup, but
yeah.
That was 50 odd years ago. And just, it's going to be Tampa. It's going to be Tampa. I'm going to hate it.
It's probably Tampa, but like I said, you don't count out the Habs. I think they're actually a solid team, and they're going to make a lot of people wrong. And Mickey Mouse division, is it still Mickey Mouse?
Yes.
No. Mickey Mouse what? The West is still Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but some people think the West is actually good, which is Cap.
Like every time if you are a President's Trophy winner and an elite team and just in Minnesota and of X like cup winning team in St. Louis, and you can't move on to a team that went below 500. But like again, it's the playoffs. I get it. But
Yeah.
again, the North wasn't that great. If Vegas can't beat that team, it's you're a Mickey Mouse team, Mickey Mouse division. Screw it.
There's only like honestly, there's only 2 good teams in the West. Like I wasn't even high. I know we're getting a bit really off topic here, but I wasn't even high on St. Louis before the season started because I just hated their goaltending. I hated their defense, and I didn't like their depth. Like they're not good. They're not good. But I mean,
it's
I digress.
Not only that, Bennington also had to deal with injuries. The injuries to like the defense and to the forward core. It's like even if he wasn't like playing up the part, he was still in a deep grave with the injuries.
Right. But anyways, it's gonna be a damn good Cup Finals. I cannot wait. The season has been pretty fast though. It's been a really fast season. It feels like yesterday it was the start of I don't know. It feels like yesterday that Ovechkin Cup in 2018. That's how fast time goes. But anyways, hopefully to our viewers, you guys enjoyed the finals. We're gonna have a lot of content this upcoming off season, including a live draft, a live expansion draft, live free agency, more interviews, etc. So look out for that, and thank you guys for watching.